In the next video, we're going to start working on our final module, which is generating a working drawing. We will be using the format previously created and also the cube part that was created in our first module. To begin with, open Creo and select New, and we want to go down to Drawing. So name your drawing appropriately. Call this one Example Working Drawing 2. Use default template and click OK. Now we want to select Empty with Format. Now we want to browse for our format. Now you'll find your format where you saved it previously. Example format 3 is the one that I'm after. Click Open. Now click OK. Now it's prompted me to which sheet to use from the previously created format. We want to use sheet number 1. So as you can see, our format has appeared, but we're going to be drawing on this format now. It essentially forms the backing for our working drawings. So to begin with, as when we were creating a part, Creo by default sets its dimensions to inches. So we're going to prepare our file and we want to go to Drawing Properties. Now we're going to go to Detail Options and press Change. Now scroll all the way down. As you can see, there's a lot of different properties we can change, and by changing these properties we can essentially ensure our drawing is in accordance to AS 1100. For now though, we're just looking at changing our unit of measure. So drawing units, inch, we want to change to millimeters, and we want to select Add Change, Apply, and then once that's done, simply close each of the boxes. Okay, so to generate a working drawing of our cube, we want to go to General View, and by default it will open up the saved Creo files that you've already worked on. You can, if they're saved elsewhere, navigate to different Creo files as well. So I'm going to select the example cube 1 that was previously created and click on Open. So automatically you're going to be prompted with this pop-up box, and just click on Do Not Prompt for Combined State. Then OK. So your next step is to simply just click on the center of the screen, and as you can see, it's generated a cube now on the working drawing. So the screen you can now see is the drawing properties. Now we can change these to create a series of different drawings, from isometric to trimetric to the third angle projection. So if we look through these, we can get the back view, apply, we can get the bottom, apply, etc., etc. For this drawing, I want you to just start off with an isometric one, and we want to go to Standard Orientation and click on Apply. An isometric won't need dimensions according to AS 1100, so we're just simply creating a scale for this drawing and generating on the page. Often when I'm doing my working drawings for different products that I design, I will simply just start off with an introductory drawing that shows what the model is going to look like before going into my detailed drawings that are showing the third angle projection and more detailed views of specific parts, etc. So in our properties, we now want to go down to a scale. Now by default, Creo is set our scale to 0.2 or 1 to 5. For this, I'm going to select 1 to 5, 1 to 2 or 0.5. This will just allow us to see the details of the model. So we click apply. As you can see, it can only just fit on the page. For this model, that's what I want, so you can see exactly what we're looking at. And the final thing that we're going to adjust in the drawing properties is the view display. Now, we are going to go to no hidden, click on apply, and tangent edge styles. You can change these so your line thicknesses are of different weights. By default, Creo automatically aligns with the AS1100 drawing standards. As you can see, the outside of our cube is in a heavier weight, and if we go to our standards and we look at line weights, so in figure 3.1, sorry, now A is a 1mm line weight, and if we go down to typical applications of lines, the visible lines, which is type A, type A line should be used for visible outlines of an object, which we can see has already been done in Creo, and general details of structures. So when we go back into Creo, there's no need to change our line weights, but if you wish, you can change different details so the roundovers and chamfers are dimmed, more solid, or don't exist at all, but the default option is best in this drawing. So once you've adjusted your settings for your model, click OK. Now, as you can see, our drawing is locked on the screen and it's not in the correct position. So to change this, we right click on the drawing under the drawing tree, and we just uncheck the lock movement box. Now this can be moved around on our screen, working drawing, and this is where you can see that our division points in our border come in handy for centering our object. So if we zoom in, you can see that it's roughly now centered in the center of the page, or in a line with the third grid on the divisions within the border. So we zoom out, come back in. Now, when I'm working on working drawings, I like to remove the axis display. It doesn't print, but it just gets in the way. And I also, if we zoom in here, by default Creo shows what scale was selected. So I'm going to delete this because it's unnecessary to have the scale there if we look at our standards, but we do need to have it in the title block. So we're going to finish this first working drawing by entering the appropriate details into the title block. So this is where our format comes in handy that we previously created, because as you can see, when we click on just like this, sorry, if we select table and then click on our title block, when we go to type in the default text heights, which have been done in accordance to AS1100 already there. So enter the detail. We've got a scale of 1 to 2. We're going to change the title of our drawing to example cube. It's drawing number 1. And today's date, 20th. Third. Materials at this point in time is irrelevant, but if you were to write the materials in, consult your standard and see which materials need to be listed and the details of what you need to list in that section. Now in our sheet, we're going to go to sheet number 1, and at this stage we only have another sheet, so the sheet 1 of 1. Just be sure, as this was left empty in the format, to change your text height to that specified in AS 1100, so 3.5 millimeters for subtitles. So 1, then we want to change this so it's in the center and two, 5, 2. We can align this so it's in the center, and the same with this one. And finally, change a number 2 so it's in the center of our relevant section of the title block. So we zoom out, you can see we now have a basic working drawing, which has been done in accordance to AS 1100. The title block is filled out, and we have a simple isometric projection. So save your drawing. And then the next thing that I would like to show you to finish this video is just exporting to PDF, so you can either save as a PDF and share your file, or to print it. So to do this, we go to Save As. Now you can export, and you can select PDF or DSXF or a range of different files, or you can just simply do a quick export, and this automatically brings up a PDF of your drawing. Then if you like, you can print that. If this was an A3 printer, you could print your drawing essentially so it was scaled, because it is a scaled drawing. So if you print it in A3, it would be scaled to the scale specified in your title block. Okay, so that finishes our first video on creating a working drawing. In the next video, we'll be looking at creating a third angle projection.